All right, hey, what's up, Blue Devil Nation? This is the first of its kind Inside LTU Football, the podcast. And we have head coach Jeff Duvendeck here be joining us. We'll be doing these periodically as we build towards the first season in like 72 seasons here at Lawrence Tech. What's up, Coach?
Not much. How you doing, Lauren?
I'm good. So obviously things are really ramping up for you right now. Kind of talk about the process and where you guys are at. And for those who do not have, the knowledge of what's going on, Jeff's stepping in and building a program from scratch. And this means from, roster to field to stadium to everything that's incorporated in building a college football program. You have a lot of experience in terms of coaching, but this is your first go-around having it all of this.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's been a long process, but it seems like it goes fast.
Yeah. How long have you been here now?
I've been here just over a year,
wow.
15 months. So.
Wow, it does not seem like 15 months.
Yeah, it's gone really, really fast. I thought that, since I was 8 years old, I haven't had a fall without games of football. This past fall of 17, I was nervous about that, but it flew by. We had a great time. Our kids worked really hard, and it was productive.
What has the reaction been in terms of high school coaches when you start talking to programs and talking about your new program?
They're extremely excited about it, especially in this area.
Yeah.
They've been waiting for scholarship college football in Oakland County.
Right.
And they know the reputation of the school from an academic standpoint. So, it's been a really easy sell to them. They love Lawrence Tech. Lawrence Tech has been involved in the community. So that has been easy. And then adding football, it's a great recruiting area, a lot of kids around here. So a ton of excitement from that end.
For nearly 8 years, State Champs has been building the brand of LTU. Athletics came back right at the same time that we formed our partnership. And, it's up to 2021 sports now that's offered here. Obviously, football was the next evolution. And, it's going to be surreal, when we actually get to playing, because it seems like we've talked about it forever. Obviously, for a first-time program and you coming in when you did, we're not going to see a whole lot of local product right now, I would imagine. So talk about kind of, the dynamics of recruiting and how it's been for this season.
Recruiting's been I don't want to say overwhelming, because like I said, there's been great reception for it. There's been a lot of things that we've had to think through that we didn't have to at other places, though. Like, for instance, in that first recruiting class, we didn't want to get too many numbers. Davenport went with 96 in their first recruiting class. And they had that. Yeah, they had a ton of attrition.
Yeah.
So I talked to some of them, and they said, that's bad.
Right, yeah.
I talked to another kid who had played at a school down in Texas, and in their first year, they had 11 kids. So they were all bored out of their mind because they'd go to practice, and it was, they couldn't do any team stuff. Kid felt like he was just overwhelmed because it was one-on-one coaching. We wanted to find a good mix of those two. So we brought in 45. The majority of our first-year class was out-of-state. We had 19 in-state, and we had 26 out-of-state. So there wasn't, like you said, the local flavor that we're looking for. But this year we kind of flipped that. So our 2018 class, our incoming this year, will be 43 in-state and 17 out-of-state. So we'll be up to 105 players and have a little bit, 43 and 19, so 62 coming in from in-state on next year's roster. So
that's exciting.
Yeah,
it is. And obviously, there's a vision that you have. When you came here, you've had a lot of time to think about this. And obviously, there's advantages to that. You don't have any, players from previous regimes who learned to play a certain way or recruited to play in a certain offense or defense. So, what is the vision that you are right now? Out there preaching?
Well, from a schematic standpoint, what we're looking for a pro-style offense. We're looking for a fast, aggressive 4-3 quarters defense. Schematically, like you said, as opposed to when Lloyd Carr left and Rich Rod took over, there wasn't that change in regime, or when Brady Hoke came back after Rich Rod was there. So, that's been great. We get to recruit the type of kids that we want, but also from a culture standpoint, we're trying to develop kids that want to push themselves to be the best. They understand the academic rigors of Lawrence Tech and are willing to put that time in outside of football on top of this to better themselves and better their families in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much buzz. I think, definitely here locally, Southfield obviously is really fired up to have football here. Obviously, football is king. In the Midwest and in Michigan, we love football. Now that you're getting out there and we truly are, selling ourselves as, Oakland County's football team, what has it been like in the community, and what has that reaction been like?
Community's been great. Like I touched on earlier, they've been excited for that aspect, for somewhere to send their kids that's local, that they can go. Right. As a high school coach, I can imagine when they get the chance to go on and play on Saturdays, you want to go watch them. Just like when my kids get a chance to go on and play on Sundays, I want a chance to be able to go watch them. And having it more local, it makes it a lot easier because obviously they're busy during the fall, so they don't get to take a weekend to go check out their ex-player play. So if they can pop over on a Saturday morning and catch a game, it makes it that much more convenient for them. And then, just having them close to home so they can give back as well. And that's something that we're trying to instill in all our students, is understand that their power within the community, the respect that they have from the youth leagues and things like that, and, how they are idolized by younger kids, and how they need to handle that platform, how they need to handle themselves in the community and be able to give back, not only here in Oakland, but like I mentioned, we have almost 40 kids from out of state that, when they go back, they need to do the same. Yeah.
I will say this, and mark my words, we're going to make Southfield a college town. There is no doubt about it. And, of course, that spills over into the Farmington Hills, the Birminghams, you name it, the West Bloomfields. We're going to get all of them fired up for LTU football. We're speaking with head coach Jeff Duvendeck here. This is our first ever Inside LTU Football podcast. One thing I did want you, because I always like bringing this up on occasion, because I'm sure there are some, especially if I'm a high school football player, I don't know what NAIA competition is. We know what NCAA is. We know their various levels. You have Division I, Division II, the Wayne State level, Division III, the Albion, and those levels. Where does NAIA, in terms of a competition level, fit into that mix?
I think we're very similar to Division II. I've been in Division II for almost 10 years of my career. And I, growing up in Michigan, we had no NAIA football. Right. So I wasn't real familiar with it either. When I went to Tiffin, my first coaching job, they were transitioning from NAIA to Division II. So I got a taste of it there. And then my last coaching job prior to here, I was a head coach at Culver Stockton, and that was an NAIA program. So those are my biggest experiences. Competing against the other teams, there's a lot of similarities in the level of competition to the GLIAC, which is where I spent most of my time prior to that. Scholarship-wise, very similar. We break up and work partials. And all that stuff. So facilities, scholarships, everything that we're doing is similar to Division II. It's just a different governing body. NAIA is over NCAA. We don't have the 3 levels. We just have the 1. And it kind of is comparable mostly to Division II.
As we now get into the next recruiting season, which it's always recruiting season, especially in the NAIA, which is great. You don't have some of the restraints that you have on the NCAA level, which is fantastic, which gives, I think, just the kids a better opportunity to learn more about the program. You to learn more about them as you are both making this mutual commitment to each other. Obviously, facilities are going to be important to, in some of the upper echelon football players. They get wined and dined at some of these other places that have fantastic facilities. That's coming here.
Exactly.
So kind of talk about where we are now and where we're going.
LTU, like I tell our staff, our players, they do everything first class. And the vision for this football program is first class. Everything that they are building for us is going to be top in the nation. We don't sell it a ton in our recruitment process because as we talk about, it's not about the facilities. That doesn't win games. It's about the people that you surround yourself with. It's about the education that you're going to get. It's about the chance to succeed and build this program together and have that lifelong legacy. And we're going to win through those things. Facilities are nice, icing on the cake, all that stuff. And, being some of the best in the nation when they're completed, I think is just going to make it that much easier.
Well, I mean, two feathers in the cap of if you're an LTU student. Number one, in most cases and in most degrees, you've got job offers lined up around the block for you, usually about 6-8 months before you graduate. So in terms of, the degrees that are coming out of here, jobs of the future, this is where you want to be. Now, from an athletic standpoint, the facilities are coming. And if you have had a chance to see the vision and how it's going to be laid out, which I would imagine is somewhere within a year away, what should people expect that's coming?
We're building a 4,000-seat stadium. The press box will be a double-decker press box with some suites in there for our president and people that he's entertaining and things like that. We are putting in a video scoreboard. It'll be 30 feet tall by 40 feet long, full LED. So, I think that'll be fun for our players.
Is there going to be like a big athletic facility there too? That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, in the end zone, I'm excited about that as well because make everything a lot more convenient for me. But yeah, in the end zone, closer to the point,
right,
will be where our weight room is, training room, offices, meeting rooms, locker room. So it'll be a one-stop shop for our players. So they won't
everything
have to,
just looking out at the stadium, right?
Exactly. Yeah, all glass siding.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids will be lifting and be able to look out to the field.
Yeah.
Our offices will be out over top, so when our kids are out there working in the off season, we can get a peek at them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful building and really, really convenient. Right now they're traveling from one end of campus to go to meetings to the other end to get changed, to back to the other end to go to practice. So
that's right.
There's some time right now that they got to put in to reap the rewards of what's being built, but I think it's helping them out.
I'd say there's an appreciation sometimes in having nothing and building up to something that you can truly, I just think it's going to grow in your pride of the program, seeing this, those who are in the group now to see this truly, rise is going to be something else. And we got a game to play here in a few days. Spring practice the spring practice game is going to be happening Sunday. That's going to be at Farmington Hills Harrison. Mm-hmm. What time is that game? 1 o'clock?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay. And it's open to public?
Yeah, free to public.
Okay.
We'd love to have you all out. So come on out and stop by, check out what the Blue Devils are putting out on the field. And, we're taking it to Farmington Hills Harrison. I know Coach Harrington took over for all-time wins this year. He's got one more year left at Harrison before they shut the doors. So we're taking it out there. He's going to be present at the game, and we're looking forward to it.
What can fans expect to see?
What we talked about earlier, pro-style offense, a hard attacking defense. We're young, so forgive us for some of our mistakes. But, our kids have grown a lot in this year. But, and they've developed. It'll be an inter-squad scrimmage, but it'll be an offense versus defense type thing. We don't have enough depth to select teams and go, team versus team or whatever. But so it'll be inter-squad, and we'll be kind of keeping points based off things that we made up from a defensive and offensive perspective. But they'll be competing hard, running around, and it's spring football. So
how
fun.
Fired up are these guys to finally get after it? Even though it's against each other, this still is the closest thing to real time.
Yeah, they've been waiting for it. A lot of kids go to school and some of them redshirt, and so they don't get that time right away. But our whole team is in that situation. In fact, our coaches as well. So we're all looking forward to it and excited about it, and hopefully we can calm the nerves and still play within ourselves.
In terms of the depth chart and the personnel that you have right now, are you excited about some of the position players that you've got ready to go?
Yeah, like I said, our kids have grown a ton this year. We've been able to develop them on and off the field, but it's been great to see them come together. Our staff is phenomenal. They work endless hours. They put a ton of time in. They love this program. They love these kids. So it's great to be able to see that, to be with like-minded people, but people that still challenge each other, and be working with that. And then also seeing our kids mature over this year and grow as football players and grow as men.
So we talked about, you mentioned the class of 2018, which you've got coming in. Anybody, it's some of the recruits or whatever that you're really excited about? I mean, I don't want to just say you're not excited about all of them, but
yeah, I think we've had a great class. I think our 45 on campus helped us sell it. We always tell them, players are the best recruiters. So last year when we were recruiting just as a staff, made it a little bit more difficult. Plus there was a little bit longer term vision that you had to sell. So guys that want a little bit more instant gratification, a little harder to sell that.
You've been getting some kids maybe that, you were like, boy, this is going to be a reach, and they're deciding to come? Yeah.
We've stretched for quite a few. Some we missed on, some we got, and we're excited about them. Where we really focused a lot of energy was in the trenches, offensive and defensive lines. So we put a lot of time and energy into that because that's where games are won. So we're excited about them all, but looking forward to. You never know till they get on campus and start practicing with you. Yeah.
So you've kind of rounded out the coaching staff now. Some additions and things of that nature. Why don't you talk about those?
Yeah, so I promoted Dan McEwen up to defensive coordinator. I hired him with that thought process in mind.
Yeah, what's his experience like?
Yeah, we were able to, so he grew up in this area. Yeah. He went away to Arizona, coached high school ball out there for a little while, came back to Siena Heights, which is will be a league team here in 2019 that we're going to be competing against. He was the defensive coordinator there as they built their program. So he kind of brings some experience from that background of how to and how not to do things as you build a program. And, we're excited about what he can do defensively.
All right. You got an addition to the D-line in terms of coach?
Yeah, so Mike Davis, I originally had him as our running backs coach and then moved him over to defensive line. That's where he played for me, both at Northern Michigan and Culver Stockton. So his passion and his experience is there. And that's really showing this spring is, some of the guys that have been out of practice have commented on our defensive line play.
What's it like to have a guy that's, you feel old, right? Because you've coached a guy, now he's back here and he's coaching with you.
Yeah, that makes you feel old. What made me feel even older was recruiting one of my high school classmates' kids this year. That kind of put me over the edge. So.
No doubt. But, I mean, that's a great thing, though, I guess, to show to the kids that, hey, if coaching is in your blood or something along those lines, you may have an opportunity to do that after as well.
Oh, yeah. And Mike was one of those guys that kind of took a different route. Initially, he went into the business world and, decided this isn't for me. I got to get back to football. That's where my passion lies. And giving back to kids, and so now that he's back in it, he's loving it.
You've also got, I guess, Nate Squared on the coaching staff. What's up with that?
Yeah, we've added 2 linebacker coaches. Both happen to be first name Nate. So one is Yellow Shan, and one is Williams. Coach Williams and I have known each other since 2003, so we go way back. He was at Carmen Ainsworth for a long time, Flint Hamady for a while, and was able to get him on staff. Excited to have him down here. And then Coach Yellow played for Coach McEwen at Siena Heights, and kind of a similar situation with myself and Coach Davis.
How important is it to have, because you do have several that you've worked with and and to have that comfort level as you kind of start this odyssey?
Yeah, it's huge because we got to trust each other. We got to know who's got our back.
And you trust these guys.
I trust them with everything I own. So, this is how I feed my children. So if I didn't trust you, it'd be hard for me to hire you and help me feed my children. But, they've been, it's great, and more importantly than me trusting them, I have to be able to, or having them have my back, have to know they have the kids' back. And so I know that what their intentions are, what their integrity and morals are, and, they're all about giving back to the kids. So, that's a lot of the reasons I've hired the guys I've hired. Yeah.
And how are you? So you're, a Flushing guy, Michigan guy. You've coached at a lot of different universities. You've obviously head coach in a few spots. Now you're here. You've been here a year. You've kind of had yourself to kind of really ingratiate yourself in the whole, idea of LTU football and now making it a reality. How are you and how fired up and are you to get, this whole thing going?
I would love to start tomorrow, and I would hate to start tomorrow. So, I know there's a lot more preparation to go into it. But I'm extremely anxious to get out there and show the product to the community and to fans and to LTU of what we're producing.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in that
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde stage of I want to do it, but I know I've got so much more to do.
That's right. We're selling this, on the fact that this is a work in progress. This is not a Picasso right out of the gate. We got the brushstrokes going. We've got a plan, a vision, an idea, and the cool thing is we're all going to do this together. And again, the opportunities to start a program from scratch just don't happen very often. And here in Michigan, especially locally, we don't have a lot of opportunities for kids to stay home. And this is a new opportunity. Obviously, here in the State Champ Sports Network, we're going to promote it like crazy. We've got a football, well, not an all-football show, but we've got an LTU sports show that's going to start up this fall on Fox Sports Detroit that's going to run on Monday afternoons. That's going to be able to really highlight everything that's going on here, not just in football, but in a lot of the other sports, which things are really taking off in several of them. Because, again, they're just about 6 years into this thing,
Exactly.
and for some, it's only like 3 or 4. So football is now, next in line and getting ready to go. One more time, let people know how they can check out this spring game this Sunday.
So Sunday, the 22nd at 2 p.m., Farmington Hills Harrison. We'll have an inter-squad blue and white scrimmage, so come check us out.
We got some hot dogs available.
Oh yeah,
and
big
things.
concessions. We'll, I think we got the band's going to be out there, so it's going to be a football atmosphere. So it'll be fun.
All right, so you get a chance. Let's just hope it's not 15 degrees when we play on Sunday, because Michigan has been insane. But I understand that it's supposed to be nicer.
Exactly.
And we'll just go with that. Again, hey, thank you for tuning into the first ever Inside LTU Football podcast. We're going to do this, like I said, periodically as we get to the summer, and then we'll get more regular. And we're hoping that in the fall we get some things worked out that we'll be spending a night somewhere at some restaurant or something in the community, promoting that, have you come down, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be really, really exciting. It is now official. It's on. The countdown's on. I think you could officially put the calendar up and start the clock to the first game, which will be against Oakland University, and that will be on what date?
September 1st.
September 1st.
Easy to remember, right?
That's it, right? Labor Day weekend, right? There you go. So where would you rather be than checking out some great college football? So, and again, lots of guys from local. There's going to be a lot more local guys. And when I say local, I'm incorporating the whole state of Michigan and a lot of great opportunities. So we'll talk to you next time right here on Inside LTU Football.